is a measure of progress, reflect and adapt on an ongoing basis additionally. Okay, so the next thing is individuals and the interactions over process and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. So these were the uh, similar methods, that is the principles of agile methods. Okay. Next one we are going to see is about extreme programming. It is one of the foremost agile methodologies. Okay, it is one of the very, very important methodologies that is incorporated in agile. It involves a high degree of participation between two parties in the software exchange, that is the customer and the developers. Okay, XP is a share of pros and cons. On the upside, agile methodology involves a high level of collaboration and a minimum of upfront documentation. It's an efficient and persistent delivery model. However, the methodology also requires a great level of discipline as well as plenty of involvement from the people beyond the world in information technology. Okay. So in short, the definition for XP is that XP is a software development methodology which is intended to improve the software quality and responsiveness to changing customer requirements. Okay. As a type of agile software development, it advocates frequent releases in short development cycle. Next, we are going to see is about the activities involved in extreme programming. Uh, the first basic activities are coding. So the advocates of XP, that is extreme, XP in short is extreme programming. The advocates of extreme programming argue that only truly important product of the system development process is code. Software code is nothing but a software instructions that a computer can interpret. Without a code, there is no working product. Okay, code is the main thing that is used for creating the software. So without code, we cannot create a software. Coding can also help to communicate thoughts about programming problems. Okay, va? So next activity we are going to see is about testing. Extreme programming's approach is that little testing can eliminate a few flaws. The first, there are many types of testing we use in the concepts. For first basic step is unit testing, acceptance testing, and integration testing. These are the three basic testing that were incorporated in extreme programming. Okay. So next activity is listening. Listening. Programmers must listen to what the customers need the system to do. So always the programmers, that is the developers, need to listen to the customers to acquire their requirements. Okay, designing. From the point of view of simplicity, of course, one could say that the system development doesn't need more than pairing, testing, and listening. These were the more important activities of the extreme programming. If those activities are performed well, the result should always be a system that works. So if we do coding, testing, and listening properly, we surely get the expected output, what the customer needs. Okay, the system becomes too complex and dependencies within the system seems to be clear. Okay, so this is about activities involved in extreme programming, and next one is advantages, robustness, cost savings, lesser risk, and same thing we have a disadvantages too. It assumes constrained involvement of customers, center approaches rather than design center approach, lack of proper documentation. So this is about extreme programming. And next one we are going to see is about managing interactive process. So Booth suggests that there are two levels of development. One is macro process and another one is a micro process. Okay, the macro process in the sense it is to establish core requirements. So next topic we are going to see is about managing interactive processes. which suggests that there are two levels of development here. One is the macro process and another one is the micro process. So macro process in the sense it establishes the core requirements, that is conceptualization. Second one is develop a model of the desired behavior, that is analysis. And third one is creation of a architecture, that is a design. Fourth one is evolve the implementation, that is evolution. And then fifth one is manage post delivery evolution, that is maintenance. So in macro process, we are going to follow conceptualization, analysis, design, evolution, and maintenance. Then coming to the micro process, it identifies the class and objects at the given level of abstraction. It identifies the semantics of the class and objects. It identifies the relationship among the class and objects and specify the interface and then implementation of a class and objects. So these were about the macro process and the micro process. Previous micro process we have seen some 5 stages, and here in micro process we are more mainly concentrating on the classes and the objects. Okay. In principle, the microprocess represents the daily activity of the individual developer and a small team of developers. The macroprocess serves as the controlling framework of this microprocess. Okay. It represents the activities of the entire team on the scale of weeks to the months at the time. Okay, the basic philosophy of the macro process is that incremental development, the system as a whole in a build step-by-step mode. And then next topic we are going to see is about basics of software estimation. Estimation means it is a technique or utmost important in software development lifecycle model, where the time is required to complete a particular task is estimated before a project begins. So from the initial stage till the end of the software development process, we are going to estimate the time required to complete a task, each and every task. So that is called as an estimation. Estimation is the process of finding an estimate or approximation, which is a value that can be used for some purpose, even if input data may be incomplete, uncertain, or unstable. Okay, the main 4 steps involved in software project estimations are: estimate the size of the development product. In this, we are going to concentrate about LOC and function point. LOC is nothing about lines of codes, and FP is nothing about function points. Okay, there are other possible units of measures. And the second step is that estimate the effort in person month or person hours. Third one is estimate the scheduling in calendar months. And fourth one is estimate the project cost in dollars or in a local currency, whatever the country uses. The major shortcomings of SLOC measure is no precise definition, difficult to estimate at start point of the project, only a code measure, program dependent, does not consider code complexity. So these were the topics we are studied in software estimation. Effort and cost estimation techniques. Okay, next topic is effort and cost estimation techniques. Okay, in this we are going to see different types of cost estimation models. First one is algorithmic model that uses effort drivers representing the characteristics of the target system. Next one is expert judgment. It is based on the advice of the knowledgeable staff. Analogy, where a similar completed project is identified and it is actual effort is used. And then price to win, where the estimate is a figure that seems sufficiently low to win a contract. Next one is top down, and the final one is bottom up. So these were the methods that are used to calculate the effort and cost benefit techniques. Next one is cosmic full function points. That is cosmic FFP in short. So we are going to see about cosmic full function points. It is a common software measurement that the International Consortium full function point. It is developed by them. It deals with decomposing the system architecture into a hierarchy of software layers. Okay. So next thing we are going to see in this is unit is CFSU, that is cosmic functional size units. Its unit is mentioned as CFSU. So it is a data movement moves on one data group. A data group is a unique cohesive set of data specifying an object of interest. So that is something that interest to the user. Each data movement is counted as the CFT, that is cosmic function point. Cosmic recognizes four types of data movements. That the four types of data movements. What are all the data movements it records are: entry moves data from outside into the process. That is, entry move means we are pushing the data from the outside into the process. And then exit moves the data from the process to the outside world. And then read. Read moves from the persistent storage to the process, and write moves the data from the process to the persistent storage. So these were the four main movements involved in cosmic full function. So entry, exit, read, and write. Coming to the function points, it is defined in 1979 in measuring application development productivity. Okay, that is it is developed by IBM. The functional user requirements of the software are identified, and each one is categorized into one of five types. That is outputs, inquiries, inputs, internal files, and external interfaces. So it is categorized based on these five types, that is outputs, inquiries, inputs, internal files, and external interfaces. Once the function is identified and categorized into type, it is then accessed for complexity and assigned a number of function points. So basically we are just going to identify, and after identification we are just going to characterize that based on these five types. Okay, and then after that we are assigning a number of function points. Each of the functional user requirements maps to an end user, that is end user business function, such as a data entry for an input or a user query for an inquiry. So based on the type, it is categorized. The distinction is important because it tends to make the functions measured in function point map easily into user-oriented requirements. Okay. There is a currently no ISO recognized FSM method that includes algorithm complexity in the sizing result. Recently, there have been different approach proposed to deal with the perceived weakness implemented in several commercial software products, and then variation of the Albrecht-based IFPUG methods designed to make up for this weakness. Okay, so first one is early and easy function points, and next one is engineering function points, and third one is band measure. So these were the things that were created to overcome the weakness of this function points, because there is no ISO recognized FSM method till now.